Hey, welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. Talking with the very funny Tammy Pescatelli. She'll be at the Cleveland Improv in Cleveland, Ohio this upcoming weekend. And we're talking real Cleveland stuff. She's a Cleveland girl. We're talking Browns wide receivers. She's the type of broad who could do that, right? She's talking with you about Cleveland Browns prospects.
Yeah.
What were you guys talking
the number
about?
5 pick in the draft.
Let us in on this.
Well, they got
Samuel Watkins from Clemson.
Clemson? Yeah.
Are they 5? I think they're 5, right? They're number 5.
You know what's funny?
I couldn't
wanted
tell
to
you.
be.
I just host a sports show.
You know it all. I wanted to be really, truly. I saw Jane Kennedy that video that everybody's thinking in their head right now.
Yeah.
Because she was from Cleveland.
Right.
And I went to my father and I said, for like career day, I want to be a sportscaster. Will you come in and let me interview in front of everybody? And he told me women have no place in the locker rooms. I'm sorry, Maggie. And so, and I changed, and now he's stuck at like comedy clubs. And I go, "You're dummy. You could have been at Super Bowls. You could have been meanwhile, now you're at the back room of a funny chuckle somewhere. Like just
We all go up and down. We all go up and down.
Did your dad play for the Browns?
This is what happened. He played in the old days of the NFL where they had semi-pro teams. So he played originally for the Browns Farm League, and then he went up to the St. Louis Cardinals. That's the old
position?
days. He was a defensive end.
Oh, wow.
But he's a mountain of a man. Like that's
I
why
mean,
I was a
he
good
must
kid.
be.
He's like
He must be.
skinny at 300 pounds. He's like 6'5", and you know he was a tough guy.
Yeah, tough Cleveland. And he grew up in Cleveland as well.
Yeah, but you know, old days when they didn't make any money, he had a second job in the off season.
Those guys back then, they made no
right.
money.
This is how I spent my entire childhood, holding on to icing his knee Sunday nights after the game. I hated Sundays.
Oh, see, that's a real daughter.
Yeah.
That's
you know.
fantastic.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you.
Did you have siblings?
I do have 2 brothers that
What
are
were they
relentless.
doing while you're icing up the knee? Were they younger?
Mocking me. Yeah, younger. Yeah, you know, I mean, I grew up with we're really competitive.
It's a tough family to leave, too. I had the same thing. I have a very close-knit Italian family. And, you know, I got lucky enough to grow up 10 miles from New York City. I mean, I grew up right by Newark. And so my struggling years as a comic, I would just come here, crash on people's floors, friends I had, whatever. It was easy. And then, of course, I had to go to L.A., which indicated success, but you go to L.A. and, you miss the family.
For you, it was success. For me, it was just like, I better do this because I have nothing left. I have no more
you were in
marketable
Cleveland,
skills.
though. You either got to go. See, I could stay in New York until I made, because they'll hold auditions here, too. Like, I went out to L.A. with a job on Mad TV, making $10 grand a week. All the auditions, except for the screen test, I got in New York City.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, the first time I was in Los Angeles was a screen test for Mad TV. I got it before I knew it. I was living in L.A., but all my struggling was done here. So I got real lucky like that. Yeah.
But you didn't get lucky because you were ready. I think that's one of the things. Comedy, it takes time. We put our 10,000 hours in. I mean, I don't know to what
Here
degree,
you do.
You know?
In New York, you can because it's easy to get the gig.
Yeah, and I went on the road. I went everywhere in between.
Another way to do it, yeah.
Yeah, which, you know, what I did, too, is I used to listen to comics and listen to, because this was the old days when the radio would run out. Like, you'd get to a certain point on, like, Route 80 in
and it
Iowa,
goes off the air.
and there was nothing. And so you'd have to listen to other comics and hone your skills and radio stations.
Most people from our generation, I think, are fans of it. Yeah, big time. Fans of comedy. And then that's why they wanted to do it.
Well, we were camaraderie. Like nowadays, there's a whole generation of comics that come up and they rip you apart. You know what I mean? For everything.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
So
it's all about attitude. Well, some guys can get writing jobs without having to leave their house because of Twitter. You know, they tweet stuff that people find witty or whatever, and producers will give them writing jobs. Yeah. I mean, that's a thing nowadays.
I know. I get it.
And God bless them if they could do it. It's just, you know, but the problem, what you just said, when they get to the big city, they're not ready yet. You know?
Yeah. Well, or like the people are, I see this a lot in the clubs now, like the viral video comics that are like, they're huge online, and then they get to the club and they sell some tickets because people want to see them, and then
they're not ready to
then they're not ready to do it, and then people are walking out and they don't want to come back, and they,
but I don't know why people like that would just say I'm a stand-up comic. Obviously, they might be a great writer and a great TV producer. Go do that. Why say? I guess they can make money.
You know how this.
I know, but why
is.
say I'm a stand-up comic? Say, look, I haven't done that yet, but I'm obviously a talented writer and a producer. I can maybe produce.
Because everybody thinks comedy is easy, Artie. You know that. You get.
Is that true? You think everybody? I think a lot of people are.
Does everybody here? Haven't you told a joke at one time?
Yeah,
that's
but there's
my
a
job.
difference between.
I don't run down on the field and throw spirals, and I still throw the best spiral in my family.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's
but
a difference between telling a joke and doing an hour of stand-up.
But not to the average person's mind. The average person thinks that they can tell.
I disagree. I think the person who thinks because they've told a few jokes, it's easy to do stand-up, I think that person's probably an idiot.
Well, that doesn't mean I didn't say that they were idiots. Okay. I know a lot of dummies.
I'm sorry. You got to specify.
Do you think that people think that stand-up is easy?
I know I don't.
Well, that's because you work with him.
No, but before that, you didn't think stand-up was something you just walk up and do stand-up, right?
Well, it never occurred to me. It never occurred to me to do it.
But Artie,
I honestly, it's a whole other world.
Sure.
And it was a world that I was pretty much unaware of.
Yeah, well,
and now that I've seen a little bit of it, it's kind of like,
it's
wow,
like
this
the
is
teenager in the vampire movie, and like, what are you? And it's like it's a crazy. Like,
I don't know. I always was terrified of it, and I wanted to do it. And look, I still get insane butterflies before I go.
You do?
Yeah, I'm on stage. I'm doing. I got a bunch of stand up coming up. I'm taping a special. I'm insanely. It's my third one, and I'm insanely nervous about it. Like
but you
real
know you're
nervous.
Brilliant. You know, but there's
brilliant's a strong word.
But you know that you can do it. Like I never.
Yeah, but it's new material. It's like you go, maybe can I do? But you're right. But it's the first two I'm proud of. But this one could suck. I don't know. I can't get that out of my head.
That's the beauty. At any given moment, it could all just fall right from you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I kind of that's part of the. It's almost like an extreme sport in a sense, you know. Like at any moment, I thought I handled it. I thought I was in place where everything was good, and then someone threw a glass at me on stage, and then I'm like,
along those lines, we got to take a break.
Sorry.
Oh, also,
Tammy Pescatelli.
Cleveland's the number 4 pick.
Back after this. Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. Tammy Pescatelli's here, a real funny comedian. She will be at the Cleveland Improv in Cleveland, Ohio this upcoming weekend. And you were on Last Comic Standing, right?
Yes.
Now, how'd that go? Yeah, were you the first season?
Second.
Okay.
Look, it was
I remember
great.
that. You were great on it.
Oh, thank you. It just wasn't
you stood
reality.
out. It's hard to stand out.
That's all I needed to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that we were lucky. It was a good group of people.
Who
of those people.
Who else was in there?
Kathleen Madigan's my best friend,
real
Alonzo
funny.
Bonden, John
funny.
Heffron, that kind of.
Heffron won that, right?
Yes.
Bonnie's as funny as they come.
And one of my,
a lot of funny women.
Family
a lot of funny women in that. Bonnie,
yeah, right.
Kathleen,
the three of us. I'll take it.
That's young Golden Girls. You should pitch that. Absolutely. And Alonzo could be like your pimp or something.
Or John could just kind of mumble about it.
Bonnie, didn't Bonnie get kicked off like the first season? The first episode or something?
Well, you know what's funny is they did these things, these tricks. It made it look like it took us almost 7 years to work this through, Bonnie and I.
Yeah.
Because she was gone.
Oh, that's right. You guys had like a thing,
and they made it like we were having I'm not saying that we didn't have a lot of pressure. And I was at a point where I was so new and a novice. And again, I'm an athlete's kid, so I'm in it. I'm listening to Eminem music. I'm a lose yourself. I'm trying to make some money so my father can retire. It's like my one shot.
You get out.
Yeah,
that's what happens in show business.
I'm psyching myself up and hit. You know what I mean? I'm crazy. I never had an opportunity like this, right?
Yeah.
But so they made it like we were fine in the house, but when they would play it back on the air, they would cut things out. If the three of us were talking, it was new reality. So they made it like I was fighting with her and she wasn't even in the house.
They had it. Look, you came off great. We got to roll, but great job. Come back anytime. You got an open invite.
Thank
officially.
you.
Tammy Pescatelli will be at the Cleveland Improv in Cleveland, Ohio this upcoming weekend, and official friend of the show. We'll talk to you soon, Tam. All right?
Love you guys.
Back after these words.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.